Wow. Talk about a mad dash for players. It's like somebody dropped money on the ground and all 32 NFL teams jumped in to try and get their share of the money. IBSportsTV.com, BJ checking in. Now, I'm going to go through these free agency moves that these NFL teams made. Now, let me start by saying I'm not going to be able to get through every little move that was made by each and every NFL team. So forgive me for that, but I'm going to try my best in the time allotted in this video to get through as much of it as I possibly can, mainly the important stuff. If I don't get to it, it probably wasn't that important. Let's start with the first thing that stuck out to me. Matt Hasselbeck leaving the Seattle Seahawks and going to the Tennessee Titans, but with the Seattle Seahawks getting rid of Matt Hasselbeck, they picked up Tavares Jackson. Why Tavares Jackson out of everybody you could have picked up? Only thing Tavares Jackson really has going for himself is that he's athletic. But why Tavares Jackson? The Vikings barely wanted to start Tavares Jackson last season. When it was said that Brett Favre might not come back, I don't know if you all remember this, but Jared Allen and his defensive folks all gathered around and they went down to Brett Favre's place, knocked on his door, and they were like, you gotta come play for us, and if you don't, we're gonna have to start Tavares Jackson and we're gonna lose. That's exactly what he said to Brett Favre. Maybe that's not how ESPN told us how he said it, but that is what he said to Brett Favre, and that's why he had to come back, because they didn't want to start Tavares Jackson. Why the Seahawks want to start Tavares Jackson, I don't know. The Seahawks also picked up Sidney Rice from the Minnesota Vikings, which makes the Tavares Jackson move make a little more sense because they're trying to give him somebody that he might have some cohesion with already, but still not the best move you can make in quarterback with picking up Tavares Jackson and getting rid of Matt Hasselbeck, who I think could do very well in Tennessee. I hope he does very well in Tennessee because Lord knows they needed a quarterback. Let's go to the moves the Patriots made. The Patriots pick up Ocho Cinco, love the guy, and Fat Man Albert Haynesworth. Now, Ocho Cinco, let's start with him. I feel like he is focused going in, although he, during the lockout, was riding bulls and playing soccer and whatnot. He looks focused going in to the New England Patriots team, so we'll see how well he does there. I think he's going to do fine. Albert Haynesworth, who really knows what this guy's going to do and who really cares what he's going to do? It really just depends on how hard he works down in New England Patriots. And really, there are people who go to the New England Patriots that start out troublemakers, and I'm really just talking about Randy Moss. People who go in and start out troublemakers and come out playmakers, I guess. Randy Moss is already a playmaker, but you know, they go in bad and then come out good, I guess. You could put like that. I don't know, but you should get the gist of what I'm trying to say here. I don't know what Albert Haynesworth is going to do, and I really don't care. Let's go to the Jets. Jets pick up Plaxico Burress. What can I call this guy? Shot himself in the leg. Peg leg Burress. Peg leg Burress gets picked up by the New York Jets. New York Jets also re-signed Antonio Cromartie and they re-signed Santonio Holmes to keep that pass game strong for the New York Jets. Now, Plaxico Burress, Peg leg Burress. How do I feel about Peg leg Burress? Well, I feel like he is a better receiver than Braylon Edwards. Braylon Edwards would be great if he didn't drop those critical balls here and there, and he's actually already, even with the drop balls, considered elite in the league, so that's crazy. But Plaxico Burress is a better receiver to me. He looks more athletic. He's built a little better than Braylon Edwards. Also, he's just Plaxico. I think he's gonna come from jail and look good. I think he can do big things for the New York Jets. Let's go to the Eagles. Eagles are the big winners, hand clap, hand clap. They are the big winners of the big Nnamdi Asomugha pickup. They pick up Nnamdi Asomugha and they pick up Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, who is an awesome cornerback also. And they still have Asante Samuel. That is absolutely ridiculous. I'm a Falcons fan, and if I had just one of those guys, I would be ecstatic just to have one of them. They got 3 of these dudes. I don't know what they're gonna do with all. That's gonna be crazy. And Deshaun Jackson decides to hold out from camp. They're saying it's getting soon, but whatever. But it's interesting. It's funny. You have stories like this where guys are asking for more money, and then you have stories like the Peyton Manning story where he's asking for less money. Peyton Manning ended up signing a 5-year contract for $90 million with with the Colts, and that was the dumbed down version. Imagine if he didn't ask for less money. He wanted less money because he wanted more money to be spent on getting players for himself. Hand clap again, hand clap again. Good job for Peyton Manning, because the Colts have looked awful during this free agency period. There's a lot of moves they could have made that they didn't make, and the Colts, I just don't know how good they're going to be going into the season. But Peyton Manning's contract, his contract is the same as Tom Brady's. He's making the same amount of yearly money as Tom Brady's making. So good job for Peyton Manning. I'll pray for you and the Indianapolis Colts this season. Philadelphia Eagles also pick up Vince Young. Now, somebody made this point, and it was a great point. It was an analyst on ESPN. I want to say it was Jay Adunde. He said one of the best jobs you can have is being a backup for Michael Vick. And that is very true. Matt Schaub was a backup for Michael Vick. Look at him now doing big things, really big things for the Houston Texans. Kevin Kolb was a backup for Michael Vick. He just signed a $60 million contract for the Arizona Cardinals, and he's got playmakers for the Arizona Cardinals now, and he can do big things. Now Vince Young, he's going to be a backup for Michael Vick. What could happen with Vince Young? Michael Vick could easily get hurt like he does just about every year, and Vince Young could come in, be the starter, and be the guy. He could be the man. He could redeem his name with the Philadelphia Eagles, and he has a lot of weapons to do it with, offensively and defensively. So one of the best jobs you can have is being a backup for Michael Vick. Now let's move on to the next thing. The Saints get rid of Reggie Bush. Reggie Bush goes to the Miami Dolphins, and the Saints pick up Darren Sproles to replace him. I think that's a great move, because I think Darren Sproles is just a better version of Reggie Bush. Darren Sproles is a more durable running back, in my opinion, first of all, and that's really the biggest point I have to make here. If all the running backs on the San Diego Chargers roster got injured, and you had to start somebody, I would want to start Darren Sproles and not Reggie Bush, because Darren Sproles has shown the ability to run up the middle more so than Reggie Bush has, and then Darren Sproles can do everything else. He can run outside, he can pass catch. I think he kick returns better than Reggie Bush. Darren Sproles, great. That is a great replacement for Reggie Bush. The Saints really upgraded with that one. And Darren Sproles was a part of a monstrous running back trio for the San Diego Chargers. San Diego Chargers actually had a good offense, period, but we're not going to get into that. That's not the point right now. The point is their run game. Darren Sproles had Ryan Matthews and Mike Tolbert with him, and they all them boys could run the ball. So the San Diego Chargers run game looked real good. But Saints, big pickup in picking up Darren Sproles, and of course they had Mark Ingram too. That's going to be interesting to see how well the Saints produce with that run game. And finally, we're going to go to the trade that I kind of mentioned before, Kevin Kolb being picked up by the Arizona Cardinals. And now we can finally see potentially or arguably the best receiver in the league, Larry Fitzgerald, break out again, because there's actually somebody who can throw the ball to Larry Fitzgerald. And if you have someone who can throw the ball to Larry Fitzgerald, he'll catch more balls than your mother will catch on a Saturday night. Larry Fitzgerald, arguably the best in the league. Kevin Kolb, is he worth $60 million? No, he's not worth that much money, but he is a legitimate quarterback who can make plays for your team, especially if you give him the weapons. And the Arizona Cardinals have the weapons to make that happen. That's the final trade I wanted to talk about. Other stuff that happened: Giants re-signed Ahmad Bradshaw. They we're also still trying to figure out what Osi Umenyiora is going to do, where he's going to end up being at, whether he stays with the Giants or goes somewhere else or whatever. Maybe by the time you see this video, Osi Umenyiora would have gone somewhere, and if that's the case, I'll put some kind of annotation or something on YouTube saying Osi Umenyiora went here or he went there or whatever. So that's it for that. Make sure to sign up for ibsportstv.com. ibsportstv.com, play the picks game there, and that picks game was specifically designed for the NFL season. So if you're a football fan, you got to sign up. You got to play the picks game, and you especially got to play the picks game when the NFL season starts. Make sure to subscribe, follow us on Twitter. This is ibsportstv.com. BJ checking out.